Happy time zone, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between. Welcome back to ZeldaSpeedRuns. Great to have you with us this Thursday. Today we continue our coverage of the Link to the Past Randomizer Challenge Cup with Game 2 of the Semifinals matchup between krelbel and DrDiabetus. DrDiabetus took the first match, so it'll be interesting to see how this one pans out. On track and duties tonight we have Jinxie Girl, and without further ado, I will leave you in the hands of our capable commentary team, Lucy and Grit and Esmar.
Welcome, wonderful people. It's ZeldaSpeedRuns. My name is Lucy and Creeth. I am joined here tonight by Esmar and Jinxie Girl on tracking. As just said, we got Game 2 between krelbel and DrDiabetus. Today's game mode is going to be inverted cross keys, so should be some lot of opportunities for some fun here. How are you doing tonight, Esmar?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm looking forward to this race. It's going to be interesting to see, especially the Challenge Cup is sort of the it's sort of the stopgap for I guess the people who didn't qualify for the main tournament, and that makes inverted a very exciting game mode to watch, because there's a lot of stuff that the game can force you to do that, you know, if you're not, of the top echelon of players, is going to be non-trivial. So we can see a lot of things swing pretty early in this game mode, and things can change hands fairly easily. So I'm looking forward to that.
Definitely. And what makes tournament inventory inverted keys different as opposed to regular inverted keys is our players will be starting with an activated flute. So opens up a few extra opportunities that you usually wouldn't get right off the bat in inverted mode.
Yeah, for sure. It gives access to the mire area, for one, and also easy access to the mountain, which is one of the reasons that we do that is to sort of open up the bottleneck at the start of an inverted game a little bit more, but it can also, it has things that can be a little bit unfortunate, open up a little bit more easily. One of the things I remember seeing in an inverted keys seed recently was a moon pearl on spike chest in misery mire, but we're going to be getting into it here, both starting at Link's house.
And of course there's always the dealing with those line nows at 3 hearts can always be fun as well.
Yeah, but as I mentioned, we do have mire area here, so both runners opting to go there.
All right, we got confirmation that Bombos is going to be the key for getting into Misery Mire today.
And, as per usual, we find nothing but maps and keys to start out.
We got a useless map and a one of the few keys we'll need for pod.
Okay, we are getting some divergence here. krelbel deciding to go up the mountain for what few checks exist up here, and DrDiabetus going to Village of Outcasts. Doesn't get the 50-50 bomb under that bush, unfortunately. Has to look elsewhere for now.
Yeah, that can always be a pain in the neck when you're low on bombs and you try to flip that coin.
And we're seeing some of the difference in inverted world layout there on krelbel's side. You have stairs that go straight up here. The mountain is probably the most heavily reworked area.
Yeah, because on top of that ladder you mentioned, you've got some additional entrances to Turtle Rock, which is Quake, coincidentally, as krelbel just scouted. If you don't mind sacrificing some efficiency in your Turtle Rock routing, I believe it's possible to do Turtle Rock with just one key on top of the Key and Samaria and your rods. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly one key. You can't get the lava chest without spending a key. But outside of that, I believe you can make do with just the one small key to get through the last door before the boss key is required. And the key doors, notably the ones that you usually go use at the beginning to go down in the dungeon, don't open up when you're going back up through them, so you can save keys that way. We do find our first sword, though, in Thieves Town. krelbel's going to be finding that shortly.
Yeah, and find some money right before the chess game's always been nice. Ooh, and the cane.
Yeah, the one thing I don't think our runners are super keen on seeing early here is Fire Rod, because that's going to open up the back of Skull Woods, and thus the Mothula boss fight, which is not something that you're eager to do green mail and 3 hearts with Fighter Sword.
Yeah, and those 50-50 bushes are not playing nice with either player today.
Yeah, at least having found one, krelbel's going to be able to sort of reset it rather quickly here, as DrDiabetus heads down to the dig game. And this is useful early on. It's a decent way to get some money if the RNG plays nice. It hasn't so far, only 120.
krelbel is showing us Hype Cave, while we have the big key to Hera.
A cool 300 rupees from the man in front.
Well, we're pretty good money-wise so far.
Yeah, and that blue mail is going to help out quite a bit in the early stages of this. That's one of the biggest issues with Inverted is just how powerful a lot of these enemies are. Because you're usually expected to have a bit more health coming into the Dark World. You do get the blue mail about halfway through in a vanilla playthrough of the game, but having that defense up early on is going to help significantly until we can get some more hearts.
Yeah, because I think most overworld enemies in Dark World do 2 hearts of damage.
Yeah, there are a couple of exceptions. Some of them do 4 on green mail, which is obviously not something that you love to see.
Yeah, I can do without it. So I know those
running dry on things to check here.
So I know those popos do 4 hearts, and the appropriately named murderadactyls also do a lot.
Yes. Yeah, so we do have the mirror, but it doesn't do us any good, because in Inverted, it obviously works backwards. It takes you from the light world back to the dark world. So until we actually have access to the light world, which I guess technically we do have the warp that's on top of the mountain, but the mirror isn't going to do us too much good. We're seeing DrDiabetus head up towards Skull Woods, which is kind of the next stop until we sort of start really running out of checks.
Yeah, so we're gonna find something here one way or another, I imagine.
Yeah, that cane helping out in the front of that room.
Now, if the game wanted to be a bit mean here, maybe that Thieves Town big key, that'll just doing Thieves Town low health is always kind of dicey.
Yeah, picking up that key, that guaranteed small key under the pot in the left room there, and warping back to the front for the refill. Going to check out the front.
Yeah, and stealing that key avoids the possibility of locking yourself in the pinball room. There's a big key to Eastern, which will come in handy when that eventually shows up.
Yeah, we've gotten a couple of good items in the mirror and the cane, but nothing that's too eminently useful. And the rest of the front of Skull Woods is kind of a bust. We do get a shield, but not much else.
See, DrDiabetus likely had. Never mind, I was going to say up the mountain. Oh yeah, we got Pod.
Yeah, and see, without this activated flute, a lot of the start of inverted seeds would start very much the same way. You'd end up with, you check the small things until you find like the hammer or your light world access and the moon pearl and all that. But with the flute, it kind of expands it a little bit, and it makes these runners have to sort of run around a little bit more. And at this point, since we found a couple of pod smalls, this is seeming like a better play now, despite not having the hammer or a bow.
Yeah, a couple keys will get you through a solid chunk of the dungeon.
Yeah, you do have to think carefully about how you use them, but it does open up a couple of chests. And if you do know your logic, you kind of know which ones to check. Because again, the one key does put quite a few of these in logic. So it's a fairly decent bet that one of these first couple chests here is going to sort of be our ticket into the rest of the seed.
It's a big TR.
Okay, interesting. Deciding to go to the back, spending another key here. Now there is a lot we can do back here. We do have that other another small, so we can open the dark maze. And there's our bow, which is actually really nice.
Yeah,
So
that's
to
gonna
spend a key
be.
to go to Harmless Hellway here. Not so sure about that, honestly. Now, without a light source, these checks here that DrDiabetus is doing are not in logic. And neither are the ones in the dark maze. Though those flippers are a nice find.
Yes, we got some out of logic flippers. At least until our fire rod or lamp show up.
Yeah, it is really nice that we found that bow in the back, though.
There it
Because,
is.
again, we pick up our moon pearl down there, which is actually fantastic, because, again, we do have access to that warp at the top of Light Death Mountain, or Dark Death Mountain, really, that leads to Light Death Mountain. But that bow also allows us to get these two checks back here, which DrDiabetus is heading towards right now.
And so that opens up all but the basement chest of Hera as well, going from that Death Mountain access.
Yeah. Or does it?
I'm thinking
you have
regular.
To be able to get up to Tower of Hera. We don't actually have access to that location.
Well,
The
now we
hammer
do.
right before these hammer pegs.
Also, the items need to be pod or in pod.
Yeah, but that hammer is a nice find. Despite that bow not actually being strictly in logic with the amount of keys that we had, since you would have conceivably have been able to, spend your keys before getting to it, I believe.
I think DrDiabetus has some intention of going to Catfish, but no gloves.
And we're going to check the pyramid here, see what we've got up there. And there's the glove.
So, speaking of that Catfish access...
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see him go back for it, because now we have full access to Light World.
Yeah.
And there's still a couple things that we'd really like to find before we, head up to Death Mountain, for one, because there's a lot that we need to actually get access to most of the meat of that area. I would say most notably the hook shot.
Krelbel's giving us a couple extra checks in the Dark Maze. Alright, we get the small key and big key to Ice Palace seconds apart on different screens.
And we also get the Light World map check to find out that no, we don't have any of the maps yet.
Oh, we've got the ever important Hyrule Castle map.
And just a compass on race game. Don't think that we're going to be too terribly interested in that.
No, not in the non-boss shuffle. Those were like boss shuffle. Then yeah, I say go for the compass, but ooh. All right, so those boots would be. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, mitts on library. That's it's interesting knowledge to know. That's not going to be obscure knowledge. Krelbel's going to find that out eventually too when he gets this far. But yeah, we're going to need to find some reason to backtrack here once we get the boots to get that item, because that's a big one.
Yes, I imagine we'll be seeing boots sooner than later.
Now, I haven't played enough Inverted to really know for sure. I know that the importance of the mitts is a little bit different. It doesn't carry the same weight. I don't remember if it's more or less. But the number of checks it absolutely locks is actually a little bit different.
Right, definitely. I couldn't say off the top of my head.
For instance, I don't think it's required to get to. It's not required to get to the Turtle Rock Warp. All you need for that is the hammer to activate it, since you can jump down on the tail.
Looks like Krelbel save scum to that pod key.
I think that's a good move. You want to keep your options open, especially in pod, where you might be working with a limited amount of keys, and it's a lot of items in there, so you kind of want to leave your options open and make sure you have a key to get to the boss if you end up in go mode.
And DrDiabetus found that lantern, so that puts the flippers he found in pod into logic. All
And
right,
so we have krelbel following suit, picking up those gloves and heading into the light world.
nice juke on those arrows.
Yeah, so it's definitely a fearsome foe.
So
Do
desert
get some
and
information. Yeah, go for it.
yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, we got desert and Hera as our 5/6 crystals to seed.
And krelbel heading towards the uncle checks here, taking a slightly different route through the light world than DrDiabetus has. I would say Diabetes still has a little bit of a ground lead. Has covered a little bit more ground overall. Though I guess crucially hasn't been up to Dark Death Mountain in the first place. I think if I recall correctly, that's where most of this disparity has come from, because krelbel went and checked that before heading over to Pod.
Yeah, I believe you're right. Now, Uncle being where he is raises a lot more questions than Inverted.
Yeah, I'd like to see a standard inverted seed someday.
Yeah, the logic on that is beyond me. Alright, and both players technically in the same spot right now.
And getting that back of escape from DrDiabetus, and the front from krelbel.
Ooh, the swamp's small. That's a good find.
That's actually, yeah, it's an important key. And with those flippers, we may be seeing it sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it looks like Dr. Diabetes might be making his way over the swamp.
Yeah, may as well. You have the hammer, you have the mirror and the flippers, and that's really all you need to get in there. And with that small key, you do have the option of checking a fair number of those chests that are in the front there. But looks like might be going for this information here first. We'll see if he decides to go up to the front of escape like krelbel. Yeah, looks like he's going for the Swamp Palace play, or at the very least, South Shore.
We got Robin J. Beasley rating with a party of 3. Welcome to Game 2 between krelbel and Dr. Diabetes in the Challenge Cup. We're playing Inverted Keys.
Yeah, Dr. Diabetes up 1-0 in the set so far. krelbel looking to even it up here. Okay, Dr. Diabetes deciding not to go into Swamp Palace just yet.
I'd also understand if he forewent the check entirely, because like without the hook shot, it's kind of a bit of a gamble.
Yeah, it definitely is, and we do have a lot more open to us. And we haven't had enough happen yet in this seed to really start going quite that aggressive.
But with that said, being up 1-0, sometimes in tournaments players can maybe spice up the routing a little bit when they know they have a game up.
Sure, though you could easily say the opposite with less on the line. There's little incentive to do anything too risky. You sort of want to stay the course, but either way, DrDiabetus onto the flippers checks.
Yeah, that's all a matter of perspective, I guess.
And the nice thing here for DrDiabetus here is getting up to those, like the waterfall and the Zora area, you can mirror there from the light world to get to the catfish check, which we weren't able to get to earlier without the glove. Now we do have the glove, but we don't need to use it since we can just use the warp and the mirror.
Alright, knocking out that catfish first. Alright, looks like just a compass on the lumberjack chest. Meanwhile, DrDiabetus finds a Quake medallion at Waterfall.
Yeah, that does open up the front entrance of Turtle Rock. Yeah, one interesting thing is that DrDiabetus has orphaned Ice Rod Cave, which ordinarily isn't always too bad, but given that this is inverted, there's no quick way back there other than, you know, taking the warp south of Link's house in the Dark World and walking the entire way. So that's not going to get any faster until we find the boots. So that's going to kind of be a rough one to get back to, because there's not really any other reason to go to that area.
It looks like short of the back, Skullwoods is pretty tapped out.
Yeah, krelbel probably going to head into Kakariko. I don't think we've seen that yet from him. While DrDiabetus heading towards the Eastern Palace area here. And we do have the big key, so this dungeon is completable.
Alright, so Saha tells us that the green pendant is in Turtle Rock today.
Yeah, that's an interesting proposition, because we do have the Cane of Samaria and the Ice Rod already. So we're Fire Rod away from basically being able to jump into that dungeon pretty soon here. All we really need is access to that part of Light Death Mountains that we can mirror and can you jump down straight to the Straight to the... You still need to jump down and light Death Mountain, correct?
Yeah, you
And
can
then
jump
there's
down
another
to
gap.
the laser bridge entrance.
Yeah, but it needs to be from Light World, so we are going to need to find access to that area, whether via... well, no. Can we do that straight from... Yeah, we can do that straight from what we've got now. We jump down onto the tail, take the warp, and get right in there. Of course, we are going to need the Fire Rod to defeat Trinex, but that green pendant is not as far away as it might seem, being Turtle Rock.
I completely missed that desert small earlier. Krelbel's just come just short of where he wants to be for that warped Smith.
Yeah, it's relatively precise, actually. You sort of just have that one tile of wiggle room there. I'm going to take the Smith here on quite a bit of a journey. Maybe a little bit of a journey. Might save him quit here. But actually, probably not going to save him quit. Probably going to walk up, honestly. Turn that in, get the reward. I don't think we saw DrDiabetus do this.
No, we have not. Yeah, so let's see what our good friend Jeremiah has for us today. Some silver arrows. Very nice.
That's not bad. It's gonna save krelbel time in Eastern Palace if it doesn't end up being a pendant. Boss is gonna go down a little bit quicker.
Yeah, Blacksmith can end up looking pretty ungrateful, depending on what he gives you. Sometimes, because he charges you 10 rupees, so let's see, you get a blue rupee for saving him. Like, he basically charges you $5 to save his life.
I mean, to be fair, he's not going anywhere and he's a bullfrog. He's just kind of stuck behind a rock. I wouldn't say he's in peril.
Maybe not. I can't imagine being in the Dark World for too long. It's good for your health.
Anyway, DrDiabetus has just enough arrows to finish that off. Misses the quick kill, unfortunately, but does finish it off getting a crystal, so that will be necessary for krelbel to do as well.
Yeah, like you were saying earlier, those silvers will definitely speed up the process just a little bit.
Yeah, we do have information on another pendant. We have Mire. So Mire and Turtle Rock are both going to be pendants for us. We got one more out there somewhere.
It looks like WB is going to put that Palmless medallion to work.
Yeah, we actually do have an access to I think, yeah, pretty much all of this dungeon. There are a couple things that, depending on, you know, what if there are any keys in here that we can't do, because we don't have the hook shot and we don't have any small keys that aren't guaranteed in the dungeon. So now, a lot of that can be gotten around with Icebreaker, which we do have access to. But meanwhile, krelbel heading into Swamp Palace here.
So depending on what he finds here, this could be pretty big play.
Yeah, it is quite a few checks, but a lot of them are in the back, which requires hook shot. And the front, especially to maximize what we have access to right now, you kind of have to go to left side, which A, you kind of have to do the slow way without the stealing the key with the hook shot. And B, you kind of it takes some time. It's a lengthy process.
Yeah, because over on the left side, you gotta go up and over, then down, then back up, then down. Ooh, there's a pod big.
Now, I would feel a little bit better about this swamp dip if we had the big key. Because we will have to skip that for now. It won't be too big of a deal, because if we have to come back here and we do have the big key, then you can just grab it on the way through. But if by the time you're able to clear Swamp Palace and are maybe thinking about doing that, if you don't have the big key and something important's in that chest, then you're kind of in a bad spot. But regardless, krelbel's routing it in because it sort of fit with where he was at the time. And you have access to a fair number of these checks, so you kind of want to get them out. And then, meanwhile, DrDiabetus does find the fire rod.
Yeah, so you can go ahead and bang out Skull Woods after this, or at any point he chooses. Which he might be more incentivized to now that Thieves Town is clearable. Alright, so let's see what this left side swamp
is approaching. I believe the last chest here.
Okay, so nothing on the left-hand side. Let's see if someone shows up on the right.
Yeah, without the hook shot, you can't combo those together, unfortunately.
Okay, that's desert access. Which that actually works out
pretty. The book is required in Inverted to enter desert, since you can't mirror from Dark World to Light.
So yeah, you can definitely, we don't know where exactly that, because that hookshot could be in desert for all we know. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
And so that works in very nicely on the route, because Swamp is just a pretty quick walk away from Desert Palace.
Yeah, it does suck to have to double dip it, but
Oh yeah,
Dr. Diabetus being a little careful here.
Yeah, nobody likes double dip in swamp.
And that's a second crystal picked up for Dr. Diabetus. krelbel hasn't cleared a single crystal dungeon yet.
Was the hook on Desert Ledge? Chat's pointing out, or are they just making a guess?
I don't think we saw that over there. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure krelbel just kind of went up. Oh, hook was on ledge. Never mind. I'm going to eat those words.
Oh, so logical required double dip of swamp. So I imagine. Go ahead, sorry.
As I was pointing out, Dr. Diabetus has the crystal lead right now. krelbel actually seems to be on the scent, which is kind of a little bit more dangerous. That hook shot's going to be really big.
Yeah, because I imagine that's going to be pretty close to a last location for most conventional play.
Yeah, especially since you do have to do that partial dip of swamp to get any of that stuff that's really pointing you too hard at the desert area. And we're not going to be able to take the warp from the mire area until we get the mitts, which are locked behind boots. Oh, Dr. Diabetus knows what he can do, but ends up forgetting the logic of it a little bit.
Fortunately, just a map to a dungeon we already know the reward for. So you mentioned krelbel being on the scent. krelbel's sprite is a wolf, right?
Yeah, that's... That wasn't an intentional pun, but yes. Now, where do we get the powder? Was that in Ice Palace?
That's a good question. I don't recall.
Either way, Dr. Diabetus taking that powder to the magic bat, rewarded with 3 bombs.
And krelbel's just going to go ahead and bang out the rest of Swamp Palace while he's here.
Yeah, if the boots are down here, that's actually really, really good for krelbel, because Dr. Diabetus has very little incentive to dip hookless swamp right now. The flip side of that would be that there is a lot less that can really be locked behind it. But then again, this is inverted, where the mitts aren't as impactful in terms of what you have access to. So Dr. Diabetus is going to be able to avoid getting the mitts for a very long time.
So
Dr. Diabetus heading to the back of Thieves Town as krelbel heads to the back of Swamp. We'll see who finishes first, I suppose.
yeah, Diabetes has full access, not full access, but clearable access to. Well, there's that Thieves Town small I was just about to mention.
Yeah, that's another opportunity for krelbel to sort of be look out if that is an important check, that big chest.
Yeah, Krelbel's really been on the ball on these some of these pickups. Okay, so Chad's saying, oh, Swamp is a pendant. Which, do we know that? I don't think we do that.
No, we don't know that, but that we do know that Thieves Town is not going to be a pendant. So, unfortunately, Dr. Diabetes is going to pick up a third crystal here before krelbel gets the first.
Oh, looks like we're off script here. Okay, there's the powder.
Yeah. So hopefully krelbel continues this through to Ice Rod Cave and see what we pick up in there.
Yeah, because that could be a. If it's just like Swamp Palace. If this is progression, that could be very big for him. Yep, just 50
Wow,
rupees.
50 rupees. That's huge. That's half of 100.
Yep, which is 1/5 of the 500 you need for Zora. It's a whopping 10% of Zora money. But since we already have 1,600 beforehand, just kind of throw it on the pile.
All right, but Dr. Diabetes up to the mountain. We're going to be seeing some new checks up here. Now, DrDiabetus doesn't have the hook shot here. Krelbel will when he decides to go up the mountain and do this stuff. So we'll actually have access to the right-hand side. Which honestly could prove to swing things a little bit.
Yeah, if you just look at the scoreboard, DrDiabetus is undeniably ahead, but the potential is definitely there for this to swing pretty hard for krelbel as the game goes on.
Yeah, I think the big thing is Krelbel needs to find the boots before going into some of the dungeons DrDiabetus has already done. Because if he can shave some of the time off of that stuff and get it done faster, then we can start to see some of this time made up in a big way.
Yep, that, and if Fee's big is something important.
Yeah, and DrDiabetus is going to end up backed up against okay, well, I guess I'll dip Hookless Swamp corner without too much within a certain amount of time here. We're sort of on the clock for how many checks we've got before that's sort of the only option left.
Yeah, kind of a bit earlier than you expect the bottleneck like that to be.
I mean, we're sort of running out of things we could find instead that's going to open up more stuff. Krelbel deciding to head back towards Pod and Eastern, which makes sense. There's a lot of checks left. Hasn't been to this area at all, so it makes a little more sense than committing all the way to the mountain. And we'll save some time here with the hook shot, honestly.
Yeah, he'll be able to shave off the the compass chest on the right hand side?
Yes? I don't remember what's normally in there.
And NMG runner, I am not.
I mean, if it was the compass chest, the NMG runners would not generally go to that chest.
True.
But yeah, isn't going to be able to take advantage of the boots here. But is going to be able to... again, we said hookshot across this gap right here. Yeah, another reason we're not going to see Krelbel super keen to go up the mountain is, again, Krelbel went up the mountain earlier and cleared out the dark Death Mountain side of things. DrDiabetus going to open up Turtle Rock. Can actually look in the front of that and make a decent amount of progress. Well, not progress, because we still need some small keys there. We don't have any as far as our tracker is concerned. But we can get these 3 checks in the front here.
Yeah, if you happen to find at least one Turtle Rock small, you can actually go ahead and take out Trinex if you so chose.
For the green pendant, but regardless. Ooh.
Okay, so that's something Krelbel didn't have when he went through Desert.
Yeah, it is just for a pendant. Or no, it's not. It's not for. It's for a red crystal. What was the pendant I was thinking about? Oh yeah, Meyer. Meyer's the pendant. I was almost correct. But yeah, so that's gonna be. It's gonna save DrDiabetus a re-trip to the desert. We'll be able to, when he finally gets over there to find the hookshot, is going to be able to clear that dungeon right away.
Oh, looks like DrDiabetus has one Turbox ball.
Yeah, not sure if you want to use it here, though, because you do need 2 to continue down. And if you really need to, you can come back up for a Chain Chomp chest. Though I guess you do get a second one guaranteed from this pokey right here. But now we're without any of them, and all we get for it is Chain Chomp chest, so hopefully it pays off. Has to be very careful here.
Yeah, those Chain Chomps are like a freight train.
And krelbel with a very quick kill of Armos, helped along by those silver arrows. I imagine we see this comboed into Palace of Darkness clear as well. Unless we're out of small keys, which we might be.
I think he saved Scumpy
Okay,
Key.
He may be. But either way, he's checking Saha first.
Right, Diabetes has
big
a
key
big
to-
key.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking of the Thieves Town small key that we found in Swamp Palace, but the pod big key, I believe, is in Ice Palace. And this is an opportunity for krelbel to make up some time, because DrDiabetus has not done the front of the escape sequence yet, and we know that krelbel didn't get anything particularly juicy out of it.
It's like Krelbel's heading to Ice Palace.
Yeah, it's a good call having picked up that Bombos medallion. And starting to make up some of this lost time, as I said earlier, DrDiabetus is not going to really be making any meaningful progress in the next minute or two. Okay, krelbel also opting to hit the switch before performing the icebreaker. Honestly, I would prefer to not flip the switch here, because it saves a little bit of time if you're full clearing the dungeon, because you can go straight to Iced Tea without sort of doing the runaround down below. But maybe that's just me that likes to do that.
Honestly, I know there are scenarios where you don't want to hit the switch, but I don't know them, so I just always hit the switch just to be safe.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that it's really on if you're planning on full clearing the dungeon, getting all the chests and everything. then it's a little bit faster to not hit the switch. Though if you're in go mode, then you want to hit the switch because it'll save time at the bottom, since you're skipping the trip to iced tea. Oh yeah, and also yeah, in key sanity you would need that small key and big key. That's right. So yeah, it does make sense to hit the switch then, because it does remove the need for that. In a regular mode, you obviously, if you're full clearing it, you're going to find those anyway, most likely. DrDiabetus heading back to Skull Woods, going to grab the bombs here from the big chest. And probably head back to the boss.
Yeah, you got small keys for it, you got the fire rod. I wonder if we'll see krelbel follow suit with a Thieves Town to Skull Woods play. Because for krelbel, those are two full clearable dungeons.
Yeah. So krelbel's probably going to go to Thieves Town Skull Woods next.
And if something is in that Thieves Town big chest, that is a huge swing for him.
Yeah, and I imagine, I think krelbel knows, has info on Meyer prize, which I believe is a pendant. I'm pretty sure we've seen that on a map check.
Yeah, I think it's the red pendant.
Yeah, and another reason I think that we're going to see a Thieves Town play is we have yet to check Sick Kid. I think from either runner. DrDiabetus may have done it.
Yeah, krelbel confirming that.
Fantastic patterns here. Yeah, Moth is hugging those spikes.
Yeah, Moth continuing his grand tradition of just being the worst.
Yeah, I wonder, did DrDiabetus use his green potion already? Or was that krelbel that... No, it was krelbel that got the green potion. That was the Swamp Hellas prize. Manages to clutch it out, though.
Yeah, Moth is a fight you definitely have to keep your wits about you, because if you get into a panic, that is going to lead to a bad time.
Honestly, the hardest part of that boss fight is the part you can't kill, and that's the arena itself.
Yeah, because once you get into a boss shuffle mode, you learn very quickly that the true boss of Skull Woods is Mothula's arena, not the Moth itself. Because you put Mothula anywhere else, it's borderline harmless. Are we getting a pat? Oh, never mind.
How were you thinking ped check?
Yeah, but I forgot books in Swamp.
Dr. Diabetes doesn't have the book yet.
I saw a
But
game the other day. Go ahead, sorry.
I think we are going to see the sick kid check here.
I saw a scene the other day that had a book on PED.
Oh, never mind. We're not seeing the sick kid check. I have to imagine that Diabetes did that already when they doing the Smith. Okay, here we are. I think Dr. Diabetes is going to get back on track now. Turning in purple chest, gonna probably combo that into Swamp.
Alright, we're about to get a moment of truth here for krelbel. For the seat in general. Oh, that's...
Ooh, Ice Palace Compass. It's an easy dungeon to get lost in. Having a compass is helpful.
Yeah, I remember as a kid hating doing the Ice Palace the way Nintendo intended.
Okay, going to head straight over to Desert. Do Desert first. This is going to be a little bit painful because probably going to see that that hook shot with no way to get to it.
Fortunately, it's not far, but it's not a fun walk.
With that, we're just about tied up with crystals. We're tied up in dungeons, but Swamp Palace was a pendant, so krelbel's still short one crystal compared to Dr. Diabetes.
He's walking back, so I assume.
Yeah, you don't not go to Swamp here, I feel, because this is really the last place you've got left. Yeah, and we're gonna get a ped check from krelbel here before he decides to finish off Skull Woods, because this is really your only chance to check it. May as well, since you've got a pendant. Just couch cash. Not interested. So we will resume our regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah, if you're gonna do that ped check, no better time to do it than when you're in the Skullwoods area. Hookshot was on the desert
It's actually
ledge.
really nice in yeah, it's really nice in inverted to do it this way too, because you don't have to worry about you don't have to go through Skull Woods to get to the. You just go to the ped and then you just mirror out and go to the back of Skull. Yeah, so Dr. Diabetes is going to find the book down here. And is thus going to then be able to go pick up that hook shot. I wonder, the book was before Left Side Swamp.
No, the book was Left Side Swamp on the right side.
Oh, was it left side? Okay. Because if it was before, that might actually have saved Dr. Diabetes some time, because you know the hook shot's out there. You can just bail knowing that you're going to have to go back in. And make left side a little bit quicker since you can do it with the hook shot, but
Moth playing a lot nicer for.
Right there.
Yeah, that's a very agreeable Moth.
Yeah, I think the question of whether DrDiabetus comes back to Swamp depends on... I don't think we've seen the map. We only know that it's a pendant because krelbel has cleared it. If I'm not mistaken, though. We might have seen the map, but... I'm not sure DrDiabetus will know that. May decide to keep putting it off, but... it's a little bit of a hard sell with how many chests there are on the back.
Hey, he's got an extra 4 checks. Although, no, I thought one of them picked up the Swamp Pig, but I guess I'm wrong.
And krelbel is going to the back of pod here to check the big chest. We'll be able to save that small key. I mean, he would have been able to anyway, because I believe he was the one that checked the dark maze. It wouldn't need to do this bomb jump, but it's quicker and gets it first try, so that's not bad.
And it's just a useless key. The book is, Dr. B is going to find the book here in like 30 seconds. No, krelbel has not done, outside of Super Bunny Cave, krelbel has not done most of Death Mountain. Both sides.
Yeah, krelbel hasn't been up on the mountain since like minute 20 maybe. Yeah, krelbel, like, sort of put off dungeons for a really long time, honestly. DrDiabetus got an early lead on that, but krelbel was able to sort of eliminate all other sort of overworld locations before heading into Swamp much earlier than DrDiabetus did, and was sort of able to pick up quite a few dungeons relatively efficiently, which has started to pay off as now the gap is closed. krelbel about to pick up another crystal here. Though I do say that, and DrDiabetus will be able to pick up one here in Desert Palace as well.
Yeah, so we got a pretty close game.
Was that Desert Palace Big Key? Was that in Turtle Rock?
It might have been.
Yeah, so not having that isn't too bad for krelbel, because he's probably going to visit that area shortly here.
Yeah, with Hera, I mean, krelbel has like 75% of the entire Death Mountain area to check between both worlds, so I don't think there's a whole lot left.
And there we go. Mountain take 2 for krelbel here. It's gonna be very lucrative here. DrDiabetus, I think, on their first trip to the mountain. Did they go to the mountain before early on, or was their first trip the one where they saved the old man?
They saved the old man.
Okay, and that was his first trip up.
I want to say that was probably roughly half an hour ago-ish.
Yeah, either way, krelbel is going to be able to get a lot of mileage out of this, since with that hookshot is going to be able to go over to Paradox Cave. Did not pick up the old man, though.
Yeah, now the major question on time saving is if DrDiabetus heads back to Swamp House. Like you were saying earlier, with 4 extra checks back there, it's hard to deny that, especially if you don't know that it's not a pendant or not.
Yeah, the hookshot is such a huge item, though, because it opens up so much. And you can sort of afford to go back to Swamp kind of at any point, because it's just as quick to get back there from here as it is from anywhere else, really. Because you're no longer right there.
So that Moldorm managed to thread the needle there.
Krelbel misses that bomb jump there.
Oh, half magic is never unwelcome.
Alright, we'll see where DrDiabetus goes here. Does go up the mountain, so avoids the rest of Swamp Palace for now.
Yeah, so that'll be a solid chunk of time he gets back.
Yeah, because Krelbel will be able to finish off Desert Palace, but only after going into TR and getting that key. So Krelbel will have to go back down the mountain for Desert, and DrDiabetus will have to go back down for Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, see, this right here is like the most. If you're trying to go for efficiency, this is the worst part of the inverted. Is trying to loop in Spiral Cave, then your multiple entrances to TR. Which, from what I've been told, there's no real way to do that, quote unquote, efficiently. It's just a matter of having to pick your poison.
I think DrDiabetus may have forgotten to check the 5 chest room in Paradox Cave.
Whoopsie. Boulder arm, there you go.
At this point, there's not too much we're looking for. We crucially haven't found the GT Big Key yet.
At this point, I'm starting to wonder if that might be vanilla. Not vanilla, but vanilla location.
French vanilla. But yeah, it's looking more and more like that. Those mitts on library were a bait. 'Cause, we haven't seen the boots yet. And it doesn't look like we're gonna need them.
Hera with a whole bunch of nothing so far.
Yeah, I think Dr. Diabetes will be the first one back off the mountain. Because krelbel is going to need to go into Turtle Rock to find that Desert Big. If krelbel is the first one off the mountain, then I think it's probably Dr. Diabetes' game to lose at that point, because that means that krelbel is going to have decided to not dip into Turtle Rock. But I'm gonna hope that krelbel's going to decide to make that play. You kind of don't want to skip it at this point since you're up on the mountain.
Yeah, and at this point too, like what? There's not a whole lot left, is there? Desert Palace Big Key is in the front of Turtle Rock. All right, looks like he's making his way.
Diabetes with a much better fight than krelbel had.
Yeah, as we're getting close to the end here, now's a good time to mention, go ahead and follow both of these racers. Both are putting on an incredible show for us here in the semifinals.
Krelbel going to Laser Bridge here. It's, it makes sense. There's more chests in here than there are in the front. Unfortunately, it's not the ones that we're looking for, really.
We're talking about MSUs in the chat. I believe I haven't listened to krelbel's side. I think Dr. Diabetes is using the Link's Awakening MSU. Maybe the remaster?
It's certainly not the original. I do not remember the original sounding like this.
Alright, so Dr. Diabetes is giving us a check we didn't see from krelbel. So if Gansour Big Key is in here, that becomes pretty significant.
I think at this point the most fun place for GT Big Key to be would probably have to be King's Tomb.
Go on a boots hunt?
Yeah, I think that would probably be the most fun for all of us involved here, except for the runners.
Yeah, but we're up here, though, so... it's all about our fun. It's not. It's about the racers, so it's all about the racers. Oh, no!
Ooh. So, krelbel did have that small key, right?
He did.
Just decided to forgo. Ooh. That's not ideal, I think. I don't think that's ideal, because I think that's full go mode for Dr. Diabetes here.
I believe you're correct. Oh man, how many games has Hera Basement ruined over the years?
Just one, Link to the Past randomizer. But yeah, all Dr. Diabetes has to do here is not even another mountain climb after this, because in Inverted, Ganon's tower is on top of Hyrule Castle, so it's just gonna have to, just take a quick jaunt up there and fly to the top. We are, unless we find a tempered sword somewhere, is going to be a Master Sword Silver's fight, so not completely trivial, but certainly doable.
Might make a couple cursory checks up against, like the Moldorm chest might be is quick enough. You might take the second to check that.
Any of the basement. I mean, you might do Hope Chest, like Hope Room, but
I would also have to assume that making the semifinals of the Challenge Cup, you probably know how you do Master Sword Ganon.
Yeah, for sure. These runners will be able to do it. It might be a little more hairy, but the silvers are pretty helpful in that regard, because it's really after the first couple phases you're sitting pretty. And krelbel sort of locking himself into another trip up the mountain to find that GT big is kind of a problem. It wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't inverted, because then you could sort of make a final Hail Mary and check it right before entering GT, but since GT isn't up here, not going to go so well. Also not going well is krelbel's Death Warp there, had a fairy.
Yeah, I mean, you get the Desert Palace big key. You go and chase it.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you sort of hope that you'll at some point run into the GT big at this point, because that's the only thing you're looking for. And honestly, it's not a bad play to hope it's not in Hera Basement. But it was, so.
I guess Hera Basement always ends up being like, experienced or new. Hera Basement is just bad for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's because it is a gamble, and if it, you either choose to be thorough and guaranteed lose a significant amount of time, or you skip it and take the risk. And the thing is, no matter how experienced you are at the game, how much mechanical skill, since it's one of those, auto-scroller checks, it's going to sort of have the same impact on the run, kind of regardless.
Yeah, in my experience, Hera Basement is Schrodinger's progression. When I go to check it, it does not have progression, and when I don't check it, it does.
Yeah, there's a lot of those in Rando. It just comes down to confirmation bias, basically. But here we are, DrDiabetus, heading up toward Hyrule Castle, and thus Ganon's Tower. The evil king of Light World Hyrule.
Also,
this disgusting world of light that he's created.
Pretty benevolent of him to kind of not do anything with that ability.
What do you mean? He's transformed it from a dark wasteland into this land of green prosperity. What a fiend!
He also hid.
He must be stopped.
And he also hid the big key inside Hera Basement, which is
that's true. Yeah,
pretty evil.
But yeah, we're not screwing around. We're going straight up. Not worrying about anything. Comfortable enough with Master Sword. Not worth looking in Hope Chest for it. We might even only see one of the two Helmastar chests checked here.
Yeah, Chad brings up a good point. Like, if this is inverted, maybe Link is the evil invader trying to overthrow the good king of Hyrule.
Yeah, I do know there are a lot of runners that deliberately choose the Dark Link sprite whenever they roll inverted. For the lore.
I always love Rando lore.
All right, krelbel picking up the last crystal here in just a second, but is going to be on that GT Big Key hunt, which honestly it's going to take a while. I'd be surprised if it was not last location at this point.
Yeah, I honestly, you probably go to GT Basement before you go to Hera Basement.
I feel like the real question here is, does krelbel get the mitts before finding them?
Oh boy, that's a good question.
Or rather, before DrDiabetus is able to finish the seed. We'll see how far along the Wild Goose Chase krelbel is going to get. It's almost a done deal at this point. DrDiabetus would have to have a catastrophically bad performance on the final Ganon fight, which I do not want to insinuate that could happen.
Yeah, you don't wish that upon anyone.
As much as I love to cheer for a close race, I think that would be very disrespectful to do that in this scenario.
Yeah, unless you're playing some sort of clown mode where you're like you're not really looking to do a serious race. And so you can kind of laugh at a bunch of Ganon deaths. Yeah, in something like this, you don't wish that on anyone.
Yeah, as exciting as it would be to have a close race, it would leave a sour taste in everyone's mouth.
Yeah, it's just from having a close race and just watching someone have a bad time.
Yeah, DrDiabetus halfway up, basically, maybe a little over halfway up. The tower here, probably gonna get our first couple chests courtesy checked here for the for a sword upgrade.
Also, I'm guessing there's a tempered sword somewhere in Turtle Rock.
Ah, yeah, krelbel did pick one up. I did kind of miss that happening. Yeah, you know, one thing I will point out, krelbel also didn't finish Turtle Rock, which, despite having the warping back to Laser Bridge, would have been pretty easy to clear that out just in case you needed to grab the green pendant. So leaving quite a bit on the table here. So it's not just Hera Basement that has been left hanging. Playing a little bit of a dangerous game here, but you know, you're down 1-0 in the series. You have to make some risks. And honestly, if the GT Big Key hadn't been in Hera Basement, it would have been the correct play, and krelbel would still probably be enjoying a lead at this point.
Yeah, that's just a classic case of rando's gonna rando. Ooh, nice triple. There's a Hyrule Castle Small. Alright, time for the final showdown. Yeah,
Diabetes' incredible insights are ready for this breakfast.
And look how good of a person Gan is, giving free nutrition advice on top of ruling Hyrule benevolently.
think Dr. Diabetus will still have that green potion, so if need be, we'll be able to rely on that cape at least a little bit. The green potion from... no, never mind, not the green potion. That was Swamp Palace, which was not completed, because it was not necessary. So, yeah, I won't be able to be that fast and loose, but honestly, not a huge danger here. We are in phase 3 already. Just going to have to close out the last phase. Master Sword Silvers isn't too bad. Actually, we're not in phase 3. I looked at the screen. I saw flying bats and forgot there were 2 phases that involved those.
50-50 odds.
Yeah, I just took a 1 in 4 guess on which phase we were at. I'm going to have to be careful here.
He did think of
is past, but
he did think of a fairy at the top of GT, so should he take another hit, he is good.
And not setting up the torch glitch, but that's, I think, is probably a little bit tactical. It's sometimes a little bit better to not set up the torch glitch, because you can set up for doubles a little bit more easily. And magic isn't obviously not a concern here, since we do have that half magic.
Alright, and that is it. Ganon is dead. Moving on to the Challenge Cup Finals will be Dr. Diabetus with an official race time of 1:35.10. Get your GGs in the chat for Dr. Diabetus. Oh, there's the boots.
All questions now answered. Consolation prize to know just how quickly the rest of the seed could have been completed.
And who knows what were behind those Titans is? Maybe the Gold Sword was behind those Titans bents. Yeah, what's the bigger for you, finding a pair of boots or killing a pig?
It's all about timing.
Hello, hello.
Hello, good GG.
Thanks, and GG, definitely GG to Dr. Diabetus. This one was a nice seed until just one thing.
Yeah, that big key was quite in a bad spot.
I'm a fan of the saying, it was going well up until it wasn't.
Yep. I do feel good that both of the plays that kind of took me out of this tourney, the Tuesday's match of what was it? Full clearing the rest of the game before going back to an isolated hookshot on Trinex. And in this seed, skipping Hera Basement when I had, a million checks everywhere else still left in the world. It's a play that, if this was not inverted, I would have made, in a heartbeat, wouldn't even have thought about it at all. But, in inverted, if you skip that Hera Basement, you're never going back. That is a hard commitment to last location. So usually I'm much less tempted to make that skip in inverted than in non-inverted. But I made that skip today, and it burned, and that's the beauty of this randomizer that we all know and love.
Okay. Yeah, here I'm getting rendered is not so good, but that's render for sure.
you look at the code long enough, and you get an appreciation for the randomness, even when it bites you one way or the other. Although, from
It's always
from
nice
a
to.
oh, I was just going to say, from a competitive standpoint and a viewer standpoint, you're always hoping for closer race. You're hoping for an exciting finish, and I think most of my like, I had a lot of pretty close races throughout this tourney, and unfortunately these last two weren't. Rewatching the VOD from our Tuesday's match, and I imagined rewatching this VOD, the finish wasn't particularly exciting. So that's the one thing that I kind of regret. But it was a good run. I could still get third place, and from what I saw on Tuesday, I was very impressed by DrDiabetus's performance. I think this should make for a really exciting finals. Very much looking forward to it. Maybe I can even do comms for it. That would be fun.
But yeah, and thanks again for the matches.
I was saying after finding that, Gannon's Tower are key. Is there a single chest in this game that has sunk more races than Herod Basement? I feel like it's got to be up there.
Well, in Key Sanity, there's they say in Key Sanity you have 13 different ice rods, and looking back at my tracker, this seed felt pretty quick up until it wasn't, but there were a bunch of other potential locations that could have also bit me pretty hard. I do kind of regret not checking TR Big Chest as I was making my way backwards. I kind of got confused between my two plans there. I committed to not doing Trinex and not doing Saha because I only had one TR small key, and you need all four to put the boss in logic. I'm like, no way am I doing that. But then if you don't make that play, then you just walk backwards through TR and check the big chest on the way. But I didn't do that. That was a kind of strange skip for me. Skipped Old Man, and Potion Shop was isolated. Some of the late Kakariko checks, like Magic Bat and Sick Kid, were isolated. Swamp Palace Big Chest was isolated. Never touched Meyer. So, any one of the Mushroom Turn-In. Like any one of those could have been the thing. Like, that's the beauty of Sanity. There's plenty of opportunities for getting rammed out.
That's true.
Yeah, but it always does feel nice in some way to be to lose by the hands of a choice you made deliberately as opposed to one you made accidentally. At least you feel like you were in control of your own fate. Yeah,
absolutely. If I feel quite good about my performance on Tuesday and my performance in today's match. Once again, seeing DrDiabetus's finish came as quite a surprise to me. So it
was really fast.
Even though they were two losses, I really don't have any major regrets from either seed. They were fun seeds and just enjoyable rando, and I have the cross keys tourney and the no logic tourney and the avian art and league and plenty of rando to look forward to. Now I get to nose to the grindstone on no logic and cross keys, and hopefully I don't get the two confused.
Yeah, it certainly never ends.
Always a good time in rando land.
Yep. But sorry, I'm monopolizing the conversation. I'll just, once again, GG to DrDiabetus. Really, definitely good luck in the finals. I don't know. Do we do a bronze medal, third place, whatever? Do we do third place matches in Challenge Cup? Is that a tradition?
I don't know.
I don't see why not.
Yeah. Even if it's not formalized, we'll see. Let's see. Has the other two in the semis, have they had their first game yet, or is that this weekend?
That is happening this weekend.
Okay. So I'll be looking forward to that, and maybe one one or two last matches to close out Challenge Cup for me. But sometimes GG once again.
Yeah.
I haven't heard from the comms at all. I'm curious, Esmar and Lucian, what was it like watching this one?
It was actually really close up until, like, for a while, DrDiabetus was ahead, then krelbel, you went and did Hookless Swamp really early. So the crystal advantage was DrDiabetus for a while, but krelbel had that hook shot advantage. And then for a while it was tied. It was pretty much a dead heat up until that Hera basement.
Yeah, it was quite lucky for me then.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying it. If it hadn't been there, if skipping that check had been the correct play, it would have been a completely different story because it would have been dead even at that point.
Oh man!
But that was just the exact wrong place for it to be. Though to be fair, like there were a couple of wrong places at that point because you had decided very intentionally to make a few skips. So
oh yeah.
Yep. If that had been the right play, it would have been a really, really close race.
Well, that's great. That means I'm definitely looking forward to watching the first 80% of the VOD. All right. Well, I gotta grab a late lunch and get back to work. So I'll just wrap up saying thanks again so much to everyone who put on the restream and everyone who watched, and thanks again to DrDiabetus. Good luck in the finals. Hopefully you can get the win. I can say I lost to first place instead of second.
Yeah, thanks. I'm quite happy to be in the finals.
Yeah, go get him.
That's the plan.
All right.
Yeah, best luck in the finals.
Yeah, that's it from me.
Yeah, for sure. GG's. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, GG's once again to both of you. It was a very excellent race. Really enjoyed watching it. DrDiabetus, very best of luck to you in the finals. krelbel, congratulations on making it through to the semi-finals. Always a good achievement. Chat, be sure to drop both these runners a follow. They really deserve your follows if you haven't already. Yeah, that's going to do it for us here on ZeldaSpeedRuns. Thank you to both Lucian and to Esmar for the wonderful commentary, and to Jinxie Girl for the tracking as well. Please make sure you drop all of them a follow. They put on it, did an amazing job. We got quite a lot of action happening this weekend here on ZeldaSpeedRuns. We have our usual randomizer, Ocarina of Time randomizer weekly races, including the Freaky Friday race happening tomorrow at 7 o'clock Eastern. And of course the NA Weekly and the EU Weekly, which are actually going to be qualifiers for the Scrubs Tournament Season 4. So I hope you're all looking forward to that. We also have the Majora's Mask Randomizer Standard Tournament Season 3 qualifiers going on. One's happening tomorrow at about 12 o'clock, or Saturday even, I beg your pardon, at about 12 o'clock Eastern, with more happening down the line. All the information will be up on the schedule, and if you're new here and you like what you see, please consider dropping us a follow. We'd really appreciate all your support. And of course, if you're into the Link to the Past randomizer, we have the Cross Keys tournament going on with Swiss Round 1 happening at the moment. We have got tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern, F. Coughlin versus Illis. And tomorrow at about 10 o'clock Eastern, we have Alazun versus Retsunika. And, well, right now, about to get underway in about 2 or 3 minutes, we have got Zelda I'm going to butcher this, I'm so sorry. ZeldaDisan versus Iceman_F1, which is happening right now over on ZeldaSpeedRuns 2, and that's where we're going to send you all off to, so be sure to go and show your support. Thank you to everyone involved in the broadcast, and thanks to all of you for watching. My name is Psychonaut, and have a fantastic rest of your time zone. Bye-bye now.
Have a great night, everyone.